Hey guys, I'm here to do the demo for the Play-Doh. I am person one, and so I'm going to be in charge of the dry ingredients today. And I have a pot with a lid. And so I'm going to go over to the dry ingredient station. And I'm going to measure my flour. I'm going to use a spoon, and I'm going to lightly spoon my flour into the measuring cup, just like on our demos in class. I'm going to grab the straight edge spatula. I'm going to add it to my saucepan. You probably could have left this lid in your kitchen. And then I'm going to measure the cream of tartar. Scoop and level. What happens if I make a mess? I probably should clean it up. Okay, so we'll have a towel here for you to clean up your mess, but really try to measure over your container. And we provided a straight edge spatula at each station, so just leave it there. Scoop into the salt and make sure again that you level off and add it to your saucepan. And then I'm gonna head back to my kitchen, and my partner is going to do the person two measuring.
Okay guys, we are demoing Play-Doh and I am person number 2, so I will be measuring the liquid ingredients. So since we are measuring water, we're gonna use a liquid measuring cup. And since the water is in our kitchen, I'm gonna go ahead and measure from here. Now there's nowhere for me to set this down on a flat surface. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of bend down and look. And I'm going to turn off my water, and then I'm going to set it on that flat surface like we're supposed to, and I'm going to bend down and look. And actually I could use a little bit more, so I'm going to get back and just give it a tiny little bit, set it back there so it stops moving on me, and then look at eye level, and that looks about right. So I'm going to walk over. Remember, we're staying 6 feet apart from one another. Okay, so your dry measuring person, or person number 1, should be measuring at a different station so that we can stay 6 feet apart. You would also be wearing your masks. I'm just not, so that you can hear me a little bit better today. All right, so we already have our measurements at our stations. So I have a half tablespoon of oil, and what I think we'll actually do when you guys are measuring is I'll have a prep cup sitting here so that you can measure over your prep cup. That way if you spill, you're not spilling into your water. So we'll do that for the actual measuring day. Okay, so let's just hope I don't spill this. All right, so a half cup of oil, and I'm going to go ahead and dump it right on in to my liquid measuring cup. And then I'm going to come over here to my flavoring, which today is vanilla. And I'm going to get a half teaspoon here of vanilla and add that in. Okay, and then I'm going to choose a food coloring, and looks like blue is right here on top, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to add a few drops of blue into my mixture. And then I'm going to go back to my kitchen and get a spoon to stir all of that up so that I can see the color that I'm making. And then we'll add it to our dry ingredients here in just a bit.
We have measured both the liquid and the dry ingredients. I got out a wooden spoon, and we're going to use the stove. We're going to make sure that we pick a burner that's similar to the size of your pan. I'm going to pick this one, and then it says to cook on medium, so I'm going to make sure that I pick the controls that control this burner, and I'm going to go to medium, which is on this oven in between 4 and 5. I'm going to go maybe to 6. Okay, so it says to stir the dry ingredients together. Do you want to come over here and get me stirring the dry ingredients? Okay, once they're kind of together, then I'm going to add the liquid into here. And then give it a stir. And I make sure that whatever you guys planned in your lab, you're taking turns. So if you decided for person 1 to add the ingredients, then they need to do that. That's why you planned. You could go ahead and set a timer for 1 minute, and you could take turns stirring this, but it looks like it's going to take a while on medium heat. It should form a dough by the time you are done, and Miss Dickus and I will show you what the end result is.
You can see that it's starting to form a dough, or it's gotten a lot thicker as I'm stirring it, almost where I can't stir it anymore. So that is probably when I want to turn off my heat and take it off my burner, keeping my pan handle to the side, right? And just kind of get all that you can get off the side. Okay, and look at that, it's forming a nice dough there. And then after it cools down, we'll come around and maybe give you some parchment paper to lay it down so that you can let it cool off. And then you will divide this into 2 parts for you and your partner. Now that we have our Play-Doh out, it's nice and cool. We are going to do what we call kneading, and we haven't learned this word yet, but I'm going to show you right now. You're going to take the palm of your hand, okay, and you're going to flatten down. Notice my fingers are together so that we're not getting it all in our fingernails and inside our fingers. We're keeping it nice and flat. And then we fold it and we give it a quarter turn and we push again. And then we fold and give it a quarter turn and we push again. Okay? And you just kind of keep doing that until you feel like the dough is nice and pliable, which means that you can really work with it well. This is the whole portion. So if you have a group of 2, you'll divide this in half. If you have a group of 3, you'll divide it into thirds. And then you'll each get to knead your own. Okay? And then we will keep this in a baggie and label it with your name and hour, so that the next lesson that we have, we're going to use plastic knives to help practice our knife cuts using our Play-Doh. And then you'll get to take it home and keep it.